a community together, police and community members and everyone really working towards one resolve, and that resolve being all of us as Americans.
Yeah, to talk more about this, we want to welcome in first from Corinthian Church in Harlem, Reverend LaKeesha Walrond. From the Banos Menachem School in Brooklyn, Rabbi Shmari Garari, and founder of Life Camp, Erica Ford. Guys, thank you so much for coming in. LaKeesha, I want to start with you. You know, rising racial tensions in this country. The main question is, the question we've been talking about it all week, is how do we fix it? How do you fix this thing?
Well, you know, first I think it has to be a conversation. We have to begin talking about it, and that started. But even the conversation that we're having today is a bit skewed. When we value one life over another life, it just perpetuates the issues of racism that we're dealing with in our country today. And so the same way that we value the lives of the officers that were lost on last week is the same way that we have to the value of the lives of others other lives that have been lost. I
got to think on this weekend, a lot of people were coming to, you know, synagogues and churches and going to their pulpits and pews for some sort of relief. What did you say to your congregation there, Rabbi?
So I think that we could actually take something positive. We could learn something from this tragedy that happened to our country last week. You know, if you think about it, humanity as a whole has changed. Just over 70 years ago, millions of innocent people were murdered in one of the greatest genocides in human history, which was the Holocaust. But the world stood silent. Today, last week in America, 7 people were killed, and the whole America is outraged. People, the whole country stopped. People are standing up for the right and for justice.
Right.
People no more will stand silent while innocent people are being murdered. I think this is an opportunity for all of us Americans to unite for the good and the positive.
Yeah, I'm with you. Erica, I know you've been on the front lines since day one. I mean, it is so palatable, the tension between community and police. There are times where you feel like it could almost ignite the fire again. You know, we don't want to see that happen in New York City. We want to be the leaders here in New York City for the rest of the country. How do we talk to our youth to understand that you can protest peacefully and be able to change a world like Martin Luther King did, the way Mahatma Gandhi did, to create rights and create a movement that will last a lifetime?
So, in one instance, you know, ironically, yesterday we had a town hall meeting with like 500 young people, 7th graders, 8th graders, and all of them were speaking about no matter what they do, they get mistreated by the police. So it builds up rage and anger inside of them.
What do they talk, when they talk about mistreatment, how do they qualify that? Because that's what I want to know. How does that qualify?
How, they qualify in terms of the action?
Yes.
That they are thrown up against cars, they're thrown up against floor, they're, you know, snatched up, they're called out of their name, they're totally dehumanized, and they're made to feel like criminals, even though they're only 13, 11, 12 years old, and they're witnessing this and they're experiencing this. And so therefore the trauma that they experience, as he talked about the Holocaust, when we talk about the years of oppression of a people, because black people are still in slavery. When we look at those little kids that we spoke to yesterday, they get arrested for petty crimes and put in jail and are held in jail because of they can't afford bail or so on and so forth. And it creates a society of a culture of violence.
You're going to have a whole other group of people that are going to say, why are they being arrested for petty crimes in the first place? If they're not doing the right thing, they wouldn't have been arrested in the first place, and they wouldn't have had that encounter. That the police officers were just doing the job. So what do you say to those people who are going to say that to you?
So what I would say to those people that unfortunately there's a thing called racism and discrimination, and people get arrested not because they commit a crime, because that young man that got killed in Brooklyn, the cop said he hit him. When we went to look at the video, he didn't hit him.
Right.
So if we didn't have the video, everyone would have believed that that guy was beating up the police officer and he was justified to kill him. So, you know, so yes, it's an internal struggle where we can make peace a lifestyle and we can begin to unite with one another.
Yes.
But the thing is that someone has to be held accountable for the loss of life and the continual racism and discrimination that is happening to a group of people.
Right. Erica, you know, you look at that incident with that police officer, and again, what he said, maybe if he didn't lie about it, it would have been a different story.
Right.
And again, black or white or black, if someone cuts you off and you get to a light and somebody's coming up to your car and you're sitting there, you don't know you're gonna roll down your window. You might be the one that gets shot. So it's turning into a free-for-all out there, and everybody's looking to save their own lives, because if I'm sitting at a light and someone walking up to my car, I don't know if they have a gun and they're going to shoot you. So what do you do in that situation?
And the officer and the individual are moving from a place of fear
right,
as opposed to a place of love and compassion and interconnection. Because I saw the same type of situation. I was in the city.
Okay.
Guy cut him off. The guy got out his car and was beating on his car.
Right.
You know, the guy didn't shoot him. And if that man shot that man, he would have been arrested immediately and put in jail. So, you know, we have to move. If there was 100 guns on this table right here and one of us got mad at each other, do we pick up the gun and just automatically start shooting it?
No.
Right, because we have to come from a place of love and compassion.
Yeah.
And
that has definitely lost. That has been lost in translation for a while now. We have, like the rabbi said, we have moved from that barometer. Reverend, I'm going to let you have the last word, because I really think that we all agree on community. We all agree on compassion. We all agree on giving everybody not to move from a place of fear. But I have to say, and there will be a lot of people that say, the police have a job to do, and that the community needs to help them do that job. They have thousands of encounters with people daily that are peaceful every day. But there are those other instances that bring to light the inadequacies and sometimes the blatant racism that does happen. Your thoughts, Reverend? Go ahead.
Yeah. I want to say that I think one of the most important things that we're overlooking is equal protection under the law, right? So police officers, absolutely, we have the utmost respect for them, and they have really tough jobs to do. But at the same time, we have to hold those accountable when they don't do and they don't represent those officers. And we need other police officers to speak up, to say this is wrong. And I think that is one of the pieces that is missing from this conversation. If we had other police officers saying, I don't agree with what my fellow officer did, then I think that we could begin to have a much more holistic conversation.
I think we're slowly starting to see that with that Facebook post with that other officer that came out that was very emotional.
He was fired or suspended. But I just want to say one thing on the police question. I represent the gun violence awareness movement. There's over 50 sites throughout the United States. We work with shooters, young people who have the potential to be shot or shoot someone. We don't have vests. We don't have guns. We don't go out, but we're stopping them from killing people. So when you look at the statistics of the gun violence that is going down in New York City, it is because of the organizations like ours and Man Up and GMAC and SOS South Bronx all over New York City that are stopping shootings before they even happen. So I don't accept the point that a police officer has to move to a place of shooting someone where they're taking their life. They do not have to do that.
I just want to say one thing. You know, goodness is compared to light, and darkness is compared to evil. Evil is darkness. Goodness, light is a lot more powerful than darkness. A little bit of light could dispel a lot of darkness. I think if we all unite together now for light, for goodness, and for kindness.
And I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you because I'm dark. So when you talk about evil as darkness, it continues to perpetuate the problem that we have right now.
I'm referring to evil as acts of evil in this world.
But you're calling it darkness while you're sitting next to me.
Right.
So I think this is a part of the problem. If we're looking at evil as darkness, then we understand why these crimes are being perpetuated against particularly African American men. We've got to start looking at evil as evil.
I think we have to look at the re-education of who we are as a society, how we view each other, come from a place of peace, like you were saying, Erica, do the community work, have the retraining for police officers. This is our watershed moment. We've got to seize the day today and let it start tomorrow.
Yeah.
It has to happen now.
Yeah.
And I know as a news organization, we're going to do our part, because you know what, I quite frankly, you know, I said this 20 minutes ago that that I am moved also, because I am tired of reporting. I say it all the time, but I'm hurt too by it. I'm disgusted by it. And I don't want to start off everybody's day and setting their breakfast table to this kind of news.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, you know, let's all take our responsibility together as a community and come together. I know. I mean, we will have this conversation, because there's so much more to come on it, right?
Yeah.
Reverend
right? I mean,
Rabbi Erica, thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you.